Like to fish? Me too. You cast your line and wait, right? You're waiting for that big fish. But it's what's going on beneath the surface that results in that fish. Every fish you hope to catch has been eating, not just your bait, but something much more. A chain of life runs through every healthy stream and lake, and it starts with organisms that are too small to see and ends with fish on your line. And every link in that chain happens in the water itself. But when the water changes, so does the food chain. Sometimes gradually, sometimes not. It starts with the algae, those microscopic plants. They're at the base of the food chain, and they convert sunlight and nutrients into organic matter. And that feeds the water fleas, or the zooplankton, and their relatives, organisms that barely are visible to the naked eye. The water fleas feed aquatic insects like mayflies and caddisflies and midges. The insects feed the small fish. Small fish feed the larger fish, and the larger fish are the ones that we like to catch. But each layer depends upon what happened before. Ecologists call this a food chain or a food web. Web of life actually better describes it than a linear chain. It's a structure. And like any structure, its foundation shifts. And when that top changes or shifts, it's because of everything else. We know this because we've researched and studied the relationships for decades. In streams and lakes across different regions and seasons, the patterns are consistent and the dependencies are real. When the water quality degrades, the base of that chain is often the first to feel it. Algae communities shift. Some species disappear, others start to dominate, but typically they're the ones we don't want. The zooplankton that depend upon the original community declines. The insects follow, then the small fish. By the time the anglers notice that there are fewer fish, the problem didn't start with the fish. It started much earlier, in that part of the system that most people never see. Not being aware of the food and the linkages means you also don't understand what you're losing or why. The National Water Conservancy monitors what most people don't think to measure. Not just water flow and temperature, but also the biological indicators that complete the story. What organisms are present, which ones are missing? Have communities shifted over time? The biological record is the early warning system, and we depend upon it just as the fish do. Long-term, consistent monitoring, assessment, and reporting makes those connections visible before the consequences are irreversible. Healthy water produces healthy food chains. Healthy food chains produce fish we like to catch. But it requires that we pay attention to the whole of it, not just the parts that we like or can see. The work of understanding aquatic ecosystems is ongoing. Each year of data adds another scene that takes years to develop. Those scenes allow informed decisions about land use, about water quality, about what we're willing to accept and what we're not. We invite you to become aware and understand more about water and the practices that help us conserve it. More importantly, we ask, what actions will you take to help us protect, conserve, and manage our nation's waters? Continue to watch